lot of women say they want a guy with intelligence, right? Would you say? What do you think? Like, what makes a man intelligent? Like, what constitutes an
I
intelligent
think
man?
when people mean intelligent, they mean emotional intelligence.
What does that mean?
Like someone who's developed their skills as like a person and they're trying to be better.
Maybe
and they understand
sensitivity, right?
not just that, they understand what's going on and like why they act certain ways and why other things are happening and the
I think the girl here is trying to say that basically intelligence refers to a man sucking up to her, right? She's saying emotional intelligence. The guy has empathy, but when she's saying he has empathy, what she's saying is he has empathy for me. But effectively what that means is just that he does things for me. So the woman is defining what intelligence is in men based on what best suits her. And of course, that's BS, right? Hello and welcome to the Helios blog. My name is Helios, here for another reaction video. Again, if you're liking the content, new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit all for notifications. If you're interested in me commenting on a video compilation, maybe a Reddit post, send it to theheliosblog@gmail.com. On we go.
relationship, like cause and effect and stuff like that.
Do you think, because a lot of times a lot of women, like, they want guys to kind of like express themselves and their emotions, but then at the same time, there are some women who see expressions of male emotion to be seen as weak. So what do you think about like the mixed messages that some men get to be strong and tough, but also open and vulnerable?
I think it's about being yourself, and if you really love someone, you should be able to like, it would be easier to read them, because, you know,
she doesn't know how to answer this in a proper politician way, right? Basically, it's absolutely true. If a man is emotional and weak, he's going to be used and abused and then discarded by the girl he's with. So men cannot be weak, but they're actively told by women to be, emotionally available, emotionally open, to be honest, to be straight up, to be a man, to man up. But all of these things, when they're done, actually makes women unattracted to men. So what that amounts to is natural selection. And of course, if you do the things that women say as advice, you're going to have a very bad time. As I've said in previous videos multiple times, you ask the fisherman, you don't ask the fish. She's not going to give good advice. And it's also really funny when she says that it's easier to read them, right? So again, she's just defining masculinity in terms of what favors her. So of course, if the man is easier to read, he's going to be easier to control. Another thing, just by implying these kinds of things, by saying these things, she's implying that the men that she was with before, they are men that aren't controllable, that are hard to read, that are not going to commit, etc. So she's saying what most women do, which is not commit to, she's only attracted to men who don't commit, to men who are not straight up, to men who are not direct in their intentions, to men who don't suck up to her and who aren't emotionally intelligent, right? So again, listen to what she does and not what she says.
you know, some people naturally don't have as many emotions as other people. I know I'm really sensitive, so I'm very expressive of that, but there are some people that just aren't.
Do you think this is true, that a man's loyalty is tested when he has everything, while a woman's loyalty is tested when her man has nothing?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think, like, okay, so...
And is that the same for women?
Okay, so let's talk about this for a second before she answers the question. Perfect freeze frame, by the way. Okay, so man's loyalty is tested when he has everything. So the point being, if a man has many, many options, only then can his commitment be truly tested, right? And the reason is because when a man has lots of options, he's actually able to select for women. And it's not a necessity for him to be with one girl. He can choose, right? And many men are able, even when they have multiple options, to choose one girl and to stay with her and to be loyal. Many, many men are capable of that. And I believe it's because men are more rational, they're more logical. Of course, they have a higher bedroom fun drive, but if they have a certain amount of willpower, a certain amount of self-control, which, again, in order for men to be successful, to be attractive to many women, very often they have to have high willpower to be able to control themselves. And so it's easier for them to be loyal when they choose to be, right? Okay, now, for women, what the guy said is a woman's loyalty is tested when her man has nothing. So the idea is this. Women in general are so-called fair weather friends. So what that means is that they're only going to stick with you when things are good, when times are good. And if the times ever fall, then she's going to fall as well. Because again, a woman's hypergamy states that she wants a superior man. So if you as a man are not working actively and maintaining your superiority, her hypergamy will select another man over you, right? And so let's say you were to lose your job, lose your money, lose your muscles, lose your height, lose your, God forbid, lose your ability to walk or, an arm or something. Many women would just leave as a result. And it's because of hypergamy. Okay, let's see what she answers here.
No, I don't think it's the same. Well, it depends, because there's obviously like outliers in like different situations. But I would say, like, generally, it's kind of like that. Like, if a man doesn't have anything, the woman's like, okay, well, what's the point? But I think the dynamic is kind of shifting, because personally, I would be with a man who had nothing if he treated me right and he wanted more for his life.
Okay, so that's actually not true. What she's saying here, I personally would be with a man if he had nothing, if he treated me right. So here's the implication, okay? The translation. What she's actually saying is all of the men that I've had in the past, they haven't treated me right. But I will now be with a girl that treats me right. Well, of course, that's not going to happen, right? Past behavior is the best indicator of future behavior. So if she implies that all the previous men she's been with were like losers, quote unquote, and they didn't treat her right, then in the future, she's likely going to be with other men that don't treat her right, right? So, and if he had ambition, well, okay, here's the thing. When women say that they want a man who has ambition, what they're actually saying is they want a man who has money, right? So when she says, as long as he had a direction to go in his life, like, she's saying if he has money coming in his future, right? So that would be like dating a medical student, right, who's not yet a doctor. But that's not dating a man with nothing. That's just dating a man who will have a lot in like a year or two. That's not dating a man with nothing. That's just dating a man with high potential, who's very clearly going to be successful in the future. That's not like, so she's just very clearly either lying or clueless. But I think she's neither lying nor clueless. I think she's purposely answering the question in order to make herself look best in front of the camera. All right, moving on.
But it's like you have to have that passion. Just because you're in a bad spot in life, you have to like want more than that. You can't just settle for that, like, for your entire life.
It's funny that she says that you can't just settle for that your entire life. The implication is that the men that she's been with in the past have all been losers who have been very physically attractive but have not provided anything outside of bedroom fun. But now she wants a guy to take care of her, right? So what that implies is that she's getting close to 30, or she's not, but she is close to the wall at an earlier age, right?
But personally, I've been the breadwinner in my relationships ever since my adult life, so I don't see, personally, I don't.
What are
Okay, before we move on to this next question, here's the thing, okay? And it's a really good point to bring up here. She said she's been the breadwinner in her relationships for most of her adult life, which also gives us more evidence that she's been with basically loser men who haven't provided anything except for being highly physically attractive, right? But there's more to this. where is her ring? Where is her marriage, right? She's clearly just doing this adult stuff for the purpose of, well, of course, getting money, but also gaining the attention of many men, right? But what has that gotten her? It hasn't gotten her a serious relationship, and in fact, no man from now on will ever take her seriously because she's an adult star. So, there you go. Very clear demonstration that what she's doing is not working, right? All right, moving on.
What are the signs that a man is bad in bed?
When they act overconfident beforehand. The best sex comes from the guys that like they don't have to prove themselves. You know what I mean? They don't be like.
That's absolutely true. This expression is what she's describing here is summed up in the following expression: the man who calls himself king is no king. So a man that has to talk himself up and brag about XYZ is actually not the most attractive man, because a man who knows he's attractive doesn't have to broadcast it and put it on blast. I think she's absolutely right. The men who are best in bed will actually not, they won't show off with it because they don't have to, because they know how good they are.
Like, oh, I'm gonna make you come, like.
I think people that walk with confidence, they don't have to talk about it. That's good dick energy.
That is also true. Agreed entirely. So the idea is, again, men who have BDE, as it were, they know, so they don't need to prove anything. It's absolutely true. And actually, I would argue that that's one of the reasons why women like confident men, because they know that they're going to get something, out of it.
You just know, you can tell. But the guys that are like, I'm gonna give you a good time tonight. They're talking themselves up. They're compensating for something.
Absolutely. She's absolutely right. That's not a lie. That's true.
So the guys that tell you you're going to be very disappointed, those are the guys to go for, right?
That's a funny question, but no, actually. Self-deprecation doesn't work, and never do it. That's actually not what they said, right? They didn't say the men that talk themselves down are the ones that are most attractive. No. They're saying the men that just know and don't have to show off. Those are the ones that are most successful.
They're like, I'm not very good with my hands.
He definitely isn't nervous to do what he's doing, because some guys who don't know what they're doing are very timid. And he kind of takes control while also staying within the limits.
Right. That's just what she's describing is just basic confidence, right? And guys, if you don't have that experience, all you need to do is practice, right? Like, you won't have that sort of energy when you've only had like 5 partners, let's say. But once you've gotten past like 20, most men, I think, are very, very good at that point and are able to take the lead and have, no discomfort and not be afraid to put their hands anywhere or stuff like that. Like this is just something that comes with practice, right? It's not a huge deal. This I would say is a very, I don't really like this line of questioning. It's a little bit too, it doesn't get into the dynamics of men and women very much, to be honest. This is just physical chemistry type of stuff, which, I mean, it's just like any other sport, right? It just takes practice and then it's all good.
And a good man always knows how to make a woman squirt, so...
Okay, well, I mean... I'm not going to describe the mechanics of how that works, but basically, anyway, just look it up, okay? It takes a little bit of practice. Moving on.
The signs that a woman is good in bed.
Now, honestly, I've heard that for women, the more they don't know, the better they are. I don't know.
Indeed. I agree entirely. That's absolutely true. And that's right. So it's actually opposite between men and women. So let's talk about women first. So women find men who are experienced the most attractive. Men who know what they're doing, they're confident, they know where to put their hands, as they said, etc. But for men, what they find most attractive is a girl with as little past as possible. They want to be the one to break ground, as it were. If every man and their grandmother has gotten in and has had his chance with the girl is going to be seen as less valuable by the guy, and the experience is going to be seen as less valuable by the guy. He's going to like it less, and he's going to like the girl less. And it's actually not because they, like, men have anything against these women. It's actually because it's a biological instinct to not seriously commit to a girl that has lots of partners, and the reason is because she's a bad bet for paternity. So absolutely true. Men enjoy the act far more, and in fact it even imprints on their memory far more when the girl is less experienced. True.
I don't know how true that is, but a man could probably attest to that for me.
Interesting. So, would you prefer a guy that has too much experience in the bedroom or too little experience in the bedroom?
I would prefer a man who has more experience.
Indeed, and many women will not say this, or they'll, go on TikTok and complain about it, right? That, the man's obviously an F-boy, or, he'll never commit, or, he's been with too many girls. But that they complain about this implies that they're actively selecting men like this. It's really funny. It's like a job, right? Like, in order to get this job, you need 3 years of experience, right? But it's an entry-level job. It's the same with bedroom fun, right? And with women, they want men to just know how to do it, to just get it. They don't want to teach them anything. They want the man to be experienced. And most women, I'd say like 99% plus, would prefer an experienced man, especially if they're less experienced, than a man with no experience. Ask me how I know.
Because that normally means more pleasure for me.
Oh, right. This is another thing. 99.9% of the time, okay? Bedroom fun for women is not about you. It's about her. She cares only about herself. She's not interested in whether you get off or not, so long as she does. It's really funny that many women complain about not being able to get off, right? But that's actually just women that are 30 plus that have settled for a beta when they could have had a more attractive man at a younger age, right? But that is very often the case, that women care about themselves, are self-centered. So the more pleasure you're able to provide them, the more they'll want you, because again, they're solipsistic, right? They're self-centered. That's accurate. Oh, by the way, please, if you agree or disagree with any of the comments that I'm saying, please, that's what the comment section is for. All right, let's do a Reddit post here. Okay, this one is from Divorce. So it's titled Divorce. My wife of almost a year and GF of almost 6 years threw away our entire relationship. Oh, so she was his wife of 1 year, but before that, the girlfriend for 6 years. She was talking to some guy, thinking I was asleep. I recorded her asking how big he is and giggling. She said, "Let me make sure he's still asleep." She looked like she saw a ghost. "Oh, what did you hear? How long have you been listening?" She's been talking to him for about a year and contemplating divorce since we got married because of this guy. So here's the thing, men. This is why you don't allow your girl to have male friends. And if she refuses that request to not have male friends, then there is no need for you to have a relationship. It's friends with benefits only. And this is why. Because this is what will happen, right? She'll use you for the resources and she'll go and sleep with another guy. Okay, and check his username. It's la la la. Supposedly they connected. It's true love and I don't understand what they have. Tell me I'm the crazy one. She tried to turn my brother against me. Her family has no idea what happened. So I was listening to her talking. She was planning a trip in 2 weeks, but she wasn't going to tell me about it. So she was literally going to change countries to sleep with the alpha male. Okay. I told her I still loved her, but I just can't anymore. This is crazy. I'm only 21, basically, so we grew into adults together. She also used the fact that my mom Oh. Okay, right. She did the thing that many girls do. Okay, let me just read what happened so you can get the idea. She used the fact that my mom had serious illness for 5 years before she passed against me, saying how I was always first and this and that. I wish she could feel the pain she's leaving me with. It's been 2 days looking for a place to live now. So many women, they just go with their biology, right? So their biology tells them to sleep with the more attractive man, and so they just do, and then they justify it with whatever later, right? You always thought of yourself before me, and stuff like that. But really, it's total BS. She's just using whatever justification you can come up with on the fly in order to get what she wants, right? Whatever is biologically best for her. Okay. Yeah, that sucks. This is top comment. And your wife is a jerk, but you're lucky. You're only 21, because that means you haven't been married long and you haven't had much of a chance to develop your career, which means you probably won't be paying support. You probably don't have many assets, so the divorce will be uncomplicated, and you're young, so you have your life ahead of you. You get to live how you want in your 20s and have limitless options when it comes to selecting a new partner. Very good comment, and truth be told, that's right. Men are not in their most powerful state when they're 21. Women are, though. And so that's probably why we're seeing what we're seeing here. It's just an imbalance of power, and the idea is this. Because of modern 2022 dating, women are not willing to stick around with men anymore. If you aren't already fully developed when you enter the relationship, she is going to go get a guy who is. And that's the problem. Okay, I think we're going to leave the episode here. Again, you're liking the channel, you're liking the videos, you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. Please comment. That's what the comment box is for, if you agree or disagree with my points. And thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Please remember to do all of the following. Like the video for the algorithm. Comment on the video. I respond to all comments and I'll give you a heart. Subscribe and hit the bell so you can see my content on your feed. Check out all of my content on other platforms. It spreads the reach of the channel. YouTube, bit.ly/heliosyoutube. Rumble, bit.ly/heliosrumble. My blog is realheliosblog.com. My podcast, bit.ly/heliospodcast. My Patreon, patreon.com/theheliosblog. You can also support the show at bit.ly/heliosdonations and buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. Thank you so much for all of your support.